So after watching a few of the games, especially TUA teams, and somebody asking me for help with positioning, I thought I'd do a quick video on discussing two bits of positioning. It should only be very short and it should be straight to the point. So, first one I'm going to do is aggressive positioning, like if you're the front man. So I noticed this with both Cerberus, I know they haven't played yet, but I've watched them many times, and the Pablo, Rev, MNU team. Among others, but those are the two that I'm thinking of in my head, where they don't have somebody that does what I'm going to say. So when I say the aggressive position, I mean the person in front. It doesn't have to be super aggressive or attacking or anything, but he has to be kind of the front man taking the confrontation, the first contact sort of thing. So if I can get my people... Do they know the symbol? Do they know the sign? They've never done this shit before, one of you? Get. There we go. Come on. One of you. There we go. And the third person. Come on, you fucking genius. This is going to be... This is going to be painful. So in a situation like this, let's say whatever's happened, it doesn't really matter, but you're faced with a situation like this. You're the front man, so you've got two teammates behind you or one person near you, and these guys say have just spawned or whatever, or they've come from that side and they're pushing in. What I don't see a lot of teams doing in this position is doing exactly what I'm about to explain. And I could just explain it, but fuck it, I'm going to give you an example. So, as the front person, you've got to push into the space. At this point, I know it's a bit close, but we're fighting with a bit more space behind us than what we started with. If we did what a lot of the teams that I see do, and you just wait back here and let them come to you, you're kind of fucked. I mean, even in this position, you are a bit of a push, a bit of a battle away from being fucked. Because let's say this fight here goes blah, 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 20 seconds, whatever, and they get a good position or they get a good bit of fighting and they push you back, now you're in serious trouble. So what you want to do is have the front person always be somebody that pushes forward into that space every time it comes. So in TUA we used to do a lot of practice where you try and control the middle, like the center, and every time you get pushed out from it, you push back into it, sort of thing. So you're continually going in and out and you're trying to push each other out of it and get control. It's what staffers do particularly well. And this is kind of very much related to it. But when you watch someone like Cerberus or the Rev, Pablo, MNU team, Turtles we'll call them, they tend to just kind of be a bit more defensive and let the enemy take up those positions and play defensive on the outskirts, on the outside. That's going to get you fucking killed eventually. Yeah, it's definitely going to get you killed, especially when you get up against the better teams with the staffers and they can really, really pressure you. You're in a lot of trouble. So you need to have that front person be like, I'm going to push forward. As soon as the space is there, I'm pushing forward, blah, 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 and it anchors the team. It means your teammates have got something to play off, and it also means that you have kind of a platform to push forward and slow down the enemy. And this person then has to be not stupidly resilient, not someone that's going to die and fight to the death or give up easy hits, but you've got to be someone that's not going to just run away. You've got to be somebody that tries and slows down the enemy and kind of gets a bit of control of the game. But the number one step is you have to push into that space, and you kind of need to know what your front man is. So in our team, the most front person is Sai, and we know that he's going to push forward into that space, and that means that as support players, we know exactly where to go. Once he pushes into that space, I'm pushing up here because I'm the second most front person if it's me and Idri. But if it's me and Stone, then I'm the person stood at the back. And without that front person taking up that first spot, it's very difficult for the rest of us to know what to do. And there'll be hesitation. And you can see that in these teams that I mentioned before. So one kind of action starts off every other action. And if your teammates don't support you and they don't follow, then you can turn around and say, you didn't do your job. So that's kind of the first thing in terms of positioning and how to react to things. That's got to improve in some teams. The second thing will be more supportive and how you deal with certain situations, because it can be very, very difficult. So I'm just going to get 2 of these onto my team, give you guys a bit of a visual. Because there's lots of different scenarios. Supporting positioning is, in a lot of ways, a lot more difficult. There's a lot more things to think of. Where, kind of, in a way. I'll say that and we'll go with that. So let's say I have one person here. Sweet. And I have one person over here. This is stretched out. I'm making this purposely. So on a map like this, it's fine. I can position myself where I can help both players. I can see everything and I can jump from one side to the other. Let's say both of them are fighting a player and the third enemy is somewhere up there on that platform or in that direction. I'm watching him and I'm looking at these two, seeing who needs the help. As the support player, I'm positioning myself into a position I can help both. However, that's not always possible, or it's not always the right thing to do. So let's say the guy on our left here has 2 people attacking it. I'm abandoning the guy on the right to help this person, and fuck me. I'm going to come into a space to try and get around to be in a position that I can get in between him, my teammate, and the enemy. And if I can just quickly go through that. Cool. So what I don't want to do is say if the enemy is at the other side of my teammate, I don't want to be here. This is pointless because jumping over him is difficult, and if he's trying to back off, I'm going to run into him. No. So what I want to do is move around this way. So assuming the enemy's here, let's say, I want to be coming round here, ready to push in front. Ready to go for a jump at an angle, or if this guy's backing off, I can push in front and slow down the enemy. I want to be in a position that I can influence and support. It's not about getting frags. It's about how I can help this dude the most. And most of the time with defense, I want to be in a position that I can get in between the two. Another scenario is if this person's attacking somebody that it's going well. There's a good chance that this person can get a kill and this person's able to defend himself, is looking comfortable. It's the same sort of thing. You want to be getting to a position that you can get involved in the game. Don't hang around in this position. This is useless. This fucking does nothing. This is a good starting point to know how to react, to start moving around. You get in the middle, but you want to be moving kind of into more attacking prominent areas. And the ability for your teammate to see and know where you are, because he's obviously going to be fighting here, he's going to be doing this sort of thing. When he sees you, he knows that you're going to help. He's going to give you some space. He's going to give you an opportunity, and you're going to be able to team up with him. Or if he sees you and he pushes one of them, that he knows that you can get onto the end of that and do an attack. And that kind of positioning is really, really important. Don't stay here. I'm going to keep repeating it. Don't stay in this position. This isn't that useful. Yeah, you might be able to do a bit of an attack here, but it's not half as useful as if you push in here and do an attack from here. Technically, you could, if you wanted, you could do something like this and go there and go in front. But you've got to be thinking about the angle of, can your teammate see you? What kind of support he needs, and where you're going to, obviously where you're going to be most useful for that. But a lot of it for both things are taking up the space and making a decision of who you're going to help. Because staying completely in the middle thinking I'm going to help both of these people isn't generally the best thing to do. That's your starting point. That's if shit happens and you're just going to go into your natural position, bang, Great, start somewhere like this, but you want to be starting moving towards where you want to be influential, either of helping attack or helping defend. And obviously, if you're the attacking person, you also want to be kind of semi-central, somewhere to push, somewhere to make an opportunity for someone else. Because if you're over here and you're doing attacking over here, it's not always the best for your teammates that are behind you, because it's harder for them to get involved. So you've always got to think of, how am I getting my teammates involved? And if I'm the attacker, which, you know, shockingly does happen at times, and I'm over here, I'm wanting to push someone this way. If somebody's stood here, then I'm going to attack that side of him to produce an angle for a teammate. And you kind of got to think of it like that. Because I've all played with staffers that'll be fighting someone in the corner and pushing them away, and you're like, fuck, that's not helping, I need to get around. And it's difficult. So you need to think about where you're pushing them. And that's all I'm going to talk about in this video. It's 11 minutes long, that'll fucking do. But you got to, the number one thing is for your attackers to take up that space, push forward to the enemy, meet them at a point that's as close, you know, to pushing up to them as much as possible, because that means you have as much space behind you as possible, and it also means your teammates know how to position themselves to support you with attack and defense. And if you're the supporting player, your natural position is going to be somewhere closer to the middle of the two, but you've got to make a judgment of who you're going to help, and you've got to find your way of getting into that situation. Move into the space. It can be absolutely fine for you to stay in this little position for a little while to see what happens. Let's say that it's just a dead neutral sort of thing and nothing much is happening, and the other third player for the other team is over there watching you. It's fine to watch him and just see what he's going to do, and then if he goes in for the attack him. Or it's fine to slowly move forward to find an angle. Because at the end of the day, with this game, things move quite quickly, so you've got to think about, right, if I try and run all the way over here, the situation is going to be different by the time I get there. So you've got to think of it, right, I'm going to move forward, see what's happening sort of thing. So don't feel you have to rush into things, but kind of think of it as gravity. This player needs a bit of help, start gravitating towards this guy, and then hopefully a situation appears where you can help them. This guy is getting into a good attack, okay, gravitate over to it. Let's say that he's pushing somebody in this corner here. Just gravitate over here. Keep an eye on this guy, a bit helpful, go over here and you'd be like, oh yeah, situation's happening, he's jumped away. Don't feel that you have to rush in, don't ruin the structure of your team. Triangles are good. Keep an eye on both players, blah blah blah. You're there to support, not be the hero. Thank you very much.